Okay, so while we were looking at 74, we saw that Krishna and Balarama have reached Mathura. In Mathura, the Lord has showered His grace on many people of Mathura. Akrura is also very happy. Finally, the last 25 Dashakams. Dashakam 75, what happens is, after spending one day in Mathura, the next day, they all assemble in the kingdom of Kamsa. And Kamsa, he orders, saying that now let us start the wrestling match that is to take place. For this very reason, we have invited people, various wrestlers also. All the kings, and there were many invitees who were invited. All of them, they took their seats. Even Nandagopa had also gone to the palace, it seems. And there, the Lord, along with Balarama and his friends, was also assembled. They had all dressed very well. Sanugaha Charuveshaha. Charuveshaha, they were all dressed very well, and that's when they were about to enter the gates, it seems, where the match was about to take place. Kupita Kuvalaya Pida Naga Avalidham. Naga, another word for elephant, as per the Kosha. So Marakosha. So that's where Kuvalaya Pida, an angered elephant was there. It was basically intoxicated. It comes there in order to attack the boys. That's when what happened is the Lord did not attack in the first instance. He tells the elephant that you please move away. But what happened is the Mehot was there. We cannot blame the animal, right? The person, the Mehot who was trying to control the elephant, he purposely, as per the orders of Kamsa, he told the elephant to attack the Lord. That's when the Lord caught hold of the elephant in his tusk, and as if he was playing with something, he put a blow on the elephant. The elephant just blew away, it seems. And it seemed now, just imagine an elephant being thrown away or elephant being attacked. All the people who were there, they all, it seems that as if their hearts were beating. Now if you see, even today also, if you go to any place, for men women both alike, if you go to places where, especially maybe in today's times, if I tell you, where loudspeakers or so are being played, you can see the panting of the chest that takes place, right? Why that happens is because our body, that is there, the chest part especially, it cannot bear a lot of sound that is there. That's the reason it starts moving, or you can say, we say, right, it starts panting. So this is the reason there. Similarly, when an elephant seems like a heavy object or so is thrown away. So just imagine, like when speakers are being played, just as our chest starts panting, similarly here also the same thing happened. Especially in the case of woman, it happens more, because the chest part that is there is quite delicate or so for the woman. That's the reason we don't touch, when we do a namaskaram also, we don't touch the chest part on the floor. That should not be touched upon. It's a Bhumi Devi should not, we should not press our chests also on the ground. So that's the reason, because it's as if a worship to Bhumi Devi that we do. Whereas for men, the Sashtangam should be done. That's the reason here why I told you this is here Gopi Kuchakalashaha. That means the chest part or the breast part of the Gopika started beating, it seems, when they saw the elephant being thrown away. They could not bear the sound. That's the reason a very, very, uh, you can say, a very dangerous place that was there. But the Lord, He saw to it that nobody is attacked also, and or nobody got hurt. And the Lord, what He did was, for some time, He hid behind the leg of the elephant, and then He comes out. And then what happened is, somehow he escaped the grab. Now the elephant also is not going to stand still, right? It's also going to attack back. But still, the Lord did not give up, and somehow he just threw the elephant away. He broke the tusk of the elephant, this, that, and so on. And by breaking the tusk, it seems that large pearls also came out, which it seems that he gave it to one of his friends and told that, you make a beautiful necklace out of this, and I Radhika yai disheti, I will give it to Radha Rani. Further, what happened is, he carries the tusk of the elephant on the shoulder, and he entered the main arena, the wrestling arena, with Balarama. Oh, everyone's eyes and minds, everyone was fixed on Lord's form. And it seems that all of them, they didn't know Tvam Mangalya Angabangi, meaning the Lord with that auspicious form, he didn't know. They felt that Nanda is so fortunate that such a son was born to him. Someone said, no, Yashoda is fortunate that such a son is born. Someone said, no, the Gopikas are fortunate because they got a lot of time to spend with the Lord. Like this, they all considered themselves blessed that now we have got the good fortune of seeing the Lord finally because of his Leelas. Now, many people did not know that the Lord was an incarnation of Goddess Mahavishnu only, of Lord Mahavishnu only. And like they were seeing the Lord for the first time and they were all full, they didn't know how to express themselves. Like for us also, if suddenly we see something like this happening, now forget about the Lord and the Lord doing leelas also. Even if we see like someone or something unusual, we are surprised, right? We our mouths are wide open and then we don't know. Then we keep thinking, how come it happened? Like I'll give you an example. You go to a magic show or even on the roadside also sometimes, especially on a beach also, people do certain things, right? They'll throw balls, this, that. For us, that is also surprising. This is nothing but Maya. So just imagine the Lord doing such leelas, or maybe you can imagine a human being amongst us doing such things, maybe throwing an elephant away or something unusual, something beyond our imagination. Amongst us, we start discussing, right? How come such things can happen? So here, similarly, the people of Mathura were shocked that how can such things be happen? They did not realize that this is the Lord only who has come down here, and they were just mesmerized by the Leela of the Lord. Finally, what happened is Chanura Mushtika, they come there. Chanuro Mallaviraha Tadanandrapagira. As per the commands of Kamsa, Mushtika, Chanura, they come there, and both of them they attack the Lord. Chanura attacks Lord Krishna, and Mushtika attacks Bhagavan Balram. Now they started fighting with each other, they started pushing each other, pushing, dragging. That's when it seems that finally Chanura was killed by the Lord and he attained moksha, it seems, even before Kamsa, because he was killed by the Lord. That's when the people of Mathura were feeling a bit worried. Now, the Chanura and Mushtika are great, strong wrestlers, and they were fighting with these two boys, Krishna and Balarama. They felt that how unequal it is, right? These two boys fighting with these wrestlers also. And while people were discussing about this, immediately the Lord held one hand of Chanura and he had already killed him. And Mushtika also was crushed to death by Balarama. Next is now drums were being played. Just as when we have a match, also you have people cheering, instruments being played, music being played. Kamsa did not like this. He immediately asks all the stumps to be stopped. And that's when he said that he got so angry. He tells Aryan Pitrontana Hantum, verse number 8, wherein he says that kill the parents of both these boys, Vasudeva and Devaki. And he said that this Krishna who was there, he should be thrown away to a remote place also. The Lord got very angry. He said, for so many years, for the first 15, 16 years of my life, I have been suffering. From the day I was born, I was separated from my parents. The first 8 children of my parents were thrown away by you, or my parents did not get time to spend. They have spent their lives in the Karagraham. Still, I will not suffer. Now, here a very, very important question comes that now Krishna Avataram is a Purna Avataram. After the Lord was being born, in spite of knowing that his parents were spending their time in jail and they were suffering things like that, Kamsa was torturing them. Still, the Lord does not immediately go to free them. He goes only after those 15, 16 years or so. Why so? Because again of karma or destiny that is there. There is a certain time which comes for everything. So if you have to undergo something, Vasudhaiva and Devaki had to undergo that treatment that was there or their condition they had to face for a few years. Without that, they cannot go ahead. Like there are stories which say that Devaki was uh, in her previous birth, she was Kaikeyi also. She was responsible for separating Kaushalya and Rama, so she had to face the pangs here. Some folklores tell this, but apart from that, also, like we say, there are some troubles or difficulties in our life also. And if it is taking time to be solved, yes, it will take time. Krishna also, the Lord also had to wait to meet his parents, but now, at this instance, when Kamsa tells that you kill the parents of both these boys, Krishna and Balarama could not bear any longer. They said that we have suffered a lot, we have waited a lot, now we cannot do anything. That's when the Lord gets very angry and he jumps, he leaps, it seems, from the ground where he was, the wrestling match was on, he leaps to the throne of Kamsa like Garuda also, like how Garuda would fly in the sky or leap from a mountain. Similarly, the Lord also does the same thing, gripped, you can say, caught hold of Kamsa, who was a son of Ugrasena. Ugrasenim is a word for Kamsa, meaning the son of Ugrasena. But now Kamsa was also not easy. He had a sword in his hand. Immediately, what happened is the Lord, what he did was he crushed the joints of the king and jumped on his body. It seems all the gods in heaven they started showering flowers on the Lord, and thus here also Kamsa attained moksha. Why so? Satatam apibhaya, because Kamsa, right from the time Devaki got married, right from the time he had heard the heavenly voice that the eighth child of Devaki, Krishna, is going to kill you, every minute of his life he was remembering the Lord. This is nothing but Kali Dharmam, that is said. Unconsciously also you remember the Lord, you'll attain Mukti. Kamsa also attained Mukti here. Though Satatam Abhimaya, though out of fear or anger he was remembering the Lord, but still every minute of his life, right from the time the Lord was born, or right from the time before he was born also, he was constantly remembering the Lord only. Out of fear also is fine, though that's the reason he attained Mukti with the Lord. And this was also due to Vasana Kalanemehe. So Kamsa, if you see in his previous birth, was Kalanemi, who was also killed by the Lord only. So therefore, in his previous birth, he was Kalanemi. This birth, he was born as Kamsa. So therefore, in this life also, he attained Mukti. In the previous birth also, Kalanemi was killed by the Lord. Finally, now Kamsa, Tadbratra Nashtapishtva. Kamsa was not alone. Kamsa had eight brothers. All the eight brothers of Kamsa were killed by the Lord. Finally, the Lord what he. Now this verse is very very important. Kamsa Vadaha. Dashakam 75 is Kamsa Vadaha. Also the Melanam with his parents, the meeting of Krishna and Balarama with their biological parents, Devaki and Vasudeva. Just imagine the sorrow of Devaki and also Vasudeva of meeting her own child after her own children after 8 years. It seems that, of course, due to some curse also, the first six children were had to be killed by Kamsa. The seventh child was transferred to the womb of Rohini, that is nothing but none but Balarama, and then eighth child is the Lord here. So it seems that when Balarama was born, at that time, first six children were killed. Now Balarama also was quite strong, right? Before the child was born, only the transfer of wombs takes place. That's when it seems that Rohini cries out to Vasudeva. Sorry, Devaki cries out to Vasudeva saying that, why should I transfer my child to someone else? Just imagine a mother who's giving birth. Someone says, no, this child will not be born to you. You have to give it to someone. Like there are some people, maybe in today's times also, you have certain things that are done, right? Those people who are not able to give birth naturally, we have many other things that are being done. Of course, all this is what you say, maybe medically or scientifically or for the sake of money, what people do. But for any mother, it's not that easy to give one's own child, right? Of course, such conditions are different, but for Devaki, just because out of the fear of the Lord and for Adishesha and Balarama to be born, Vasudeva says this is destiny that has to be done, otherwise we will lose our child, this child also. That's when the transfer of wombs takes place. Yoga Maya comes out. That's the goddess comes out, the seventh womb. And finally, the eighth Garbham, that is the Rashtama Garbham. Again, the goddess Devaki sees the Lord for a few seconds, and then Vasudeva had to immediately go because the child starts crying. Then again, Kamsa will come. So here, Vasudeva says that six children we have lost. If you want to save your seventh and eighth child, you have to undergo this. Devaki, with a very heavy heart, she, you can say, she bids, we cannot say put it in words, right? She just has to cry all through her life. But yes, she says that no, I have to save my children. At least the seventh and eighth child should be saved. That is none but Balarama and Krishna. So the Lord, that's the reason in the Mahabharatam stories later when he talks to Kamsa and also to Arjuna, he says that you talk about, one second. Okay. Okay. So when he talks about his sorrows, woes, also the Lord says that at least all of you in this world, let it be Arjuna also, or let it be the Pancha Pandavas, you are blessed. At least you didn't have a condition like me also when I and my brother, elder brother Balarama, we were separated from our parents. The same thing, Devaki and Vasudeva, no other parent should undergo this suffering. The Lord himself puts here, and finally here, the Lord meets his parents and Pitarau Sannaman Pitarau Mata cha Pita cha. This is a Samasa Shabdam, compound word in Sanskrit, wherein both of them they meet their parents. Next, Ugrasena, the father of Kamsa, is made the king. Entire Yadavakulam becomes very happy. That's when Uddhava also comes and meets. Now, Uddhava Gita, this is the reference here, wherein it seems that Uddhava, one of the greatest devotees and the childhood friends of Krishna, he had learned a lot of ethics, or you can say a lot of good things from the guru of the gods, Brihaspati himself. And for some time now, the Lord resided in Mathurapuri. So, O Lord of Guruvayu, Rundime Sarvarogan, Bhattatri finally cries out, Kamsa is killed now. You have met your parents, Devaki Vasudeva. Now at least free me from my afflictions, free me from my sufferings. Dashakam 76. Now here what happens is, finally now after doing all his leelas, after killing many asuras, finally now Vasudeva, Devaki, Nandagopa also, they tell that now you must go to a Gurukulam. Now the Yajnopavita Samskaram should be done. Now, why this delay takes place is, as per the Varanashrama that we belong to, there are different age where things have to take place. So, for a person belonging to a Brahmana Kula, if it happens at the age of 7 or 8, like we say, for Yadavas, at the same time for Kshatriyas also, there are certain time differences. Similarly, for the Namakarma also that is done. For some, it is done on the 7th day. For Krishna, it was done on a particular day also. For Rama, it is different. Krishna, it is different. Right? So, like this, Rama is because Kshatriya, Krishna was born as a Kshatriya, but he was taken care by Vaishyas. That is Nandagopa belonging to the Yadava Kula. That is, Nandagopa was again belonging to the Vaishya Kula. They were a business class. So again, that's the reason there are these age differences of time. Why did Krishna not go when he was born also to a Gurukulam like anyone else? Because there are differences here where he, first of all, he was not even there in the place where he was born, right? He was sent away on the day he was born. He was taken care by someone, then he comes back and so on. So that's the reason after killing Kamsa along with Balarama, Gatva Sandipani Mata goes to the ashrama of Sandipani, and now Chatushashti Matrai. In a span of 64 days, the Lord masters everything. People spend their entire life in learning something. Still, it is not enough. People spend many years in the Gurukulam. The Lord, what he does is, in the span of Chatushashti Matraihi, the span of 64 days, he masters all the knowledge which Sandipani had to teach him. Now, finally, the topic of Guru Dakshina comes. At that time, Sandipani's wife tells that now Sandipani had a son who had died previously. So, Sandipani's wife says that you please ask the Lord to revive our son and give back. Sandipani feels ashamed initially. He says, how can I tell the Lord? A person who's gone is gone. But the wife of Sandipani says, no, you ask the Lord, this Lord has done many leelas, he can give back our son. You please ask this as Guru Dakshina. Dakshinartam Dattva Tasmai. Sandipani and his wife ask the same. The dead son of Sandipani is brought back by the Lord. The Lord goes to Yamapuri, it seems. Yama's abode, gets back the son of Sandipani, gives him. And finally, after completing the Gurukula Vasam, he returns back. Nadayan Panchajanyam. Panchajanyam is the name of the Shanka of the Lord. The Lord blows the Shanka and comes back. Again and again, it seems that now what happened is the Lord had spent a lot of time in the Gurukulam, in Mathurapuri also. Finally, he remembers the Gopikas now. And now what he does was, that is, now this verse number 2, Dashakam 76, is a reminder to tell that the Lord never forgets his devotees. No, I think I have put in a lot of efforts, but now nothing is working. None of my wishes are getting fulfilled. Has the Lord forgotten to bless me? It never happens that way. The Lord definitely remembers, like he has remembered the Gopikas here, through someone. If the Lord himself cannot come, through someone or something, the Lord definitely proves. That's the reason we find or we come across a few people as blessings in our life, or we come across a few things which we consider as blessings in our life. Like here, the Lord sends Uddhava as a messenger to the Gopikas, and he conveys a message to Uddhava and tells that this himself, Bhattatri Bhakti Udrekam Skalabhuvana Durlabham Darshayishyan. Bhattatri himself highlights saying that this is a very, very rare example which shows that if you have utmost bhakti towards the Lord will give away everything and come and remember you. So therefore you don't have to worry about that. The least thing which we must have is bhakti to the word. Bhakti Udrekam, intense devotion like the Gopikas they had. Now, finally what happens is Uddhava proceeds to Gokulam, and finally there Uddhava, he meets Nanda and Yashoda. They also become very happy that the Lord had a lot of news for the Gopikas, his parents also. Now, people became very happy that when they saw Uddhava had come, they imagined that Krishna also would have arrived. And it seems that they left all their work aside, they assembled in the house of Nandagopa. Now, the Gopikas, they saw Uddhava quite similar to the Lord. Clothes also like the Lord, ornaments like the Lord, everything seemed to be like the Lord only. They felt that they remembered the Lord again and again. They felt as if Krishna only had come. And it seems that they could not speak. They were choking for words, you can say. And somehow it seems that they spoke to Uddhava, and they forgot everything. They forgot their lives. Everything was set. And that's when finally they asked that Shriman Kim Tvam Pitrujanakate Preshito Nirdayena. Now the Gopikas, out of the bhakti that they had, they said that, have you been sent here by that Nirdayi meaning that heartless one, that Krishna who has no feelings for us. Has he sent you here? That too for the sake of his parents, not for us. Where is he? Why has he not come? Oh Lord Hari, please protect us. How can we women also, we Gopikas, how can we forget the Lord here? During the Rasa Leela dance, he was the one who had made us forget everything, who had developed bhakti in us. Now this is nothing but again Uddhava Gita, which is proclaimed here. And they all started telling their different imaginations, different experiences that they had with the Lord. And here Uddhava comes to know that I went to Badrikashramam, I went here, I went there, this, that, everything I did to know about the Lord, to know about philosophy. But if I have to know something, if I have to know about the Lord, Mahima of the Lord, I had to come here to Gokulam to witness this from the mouth of these Gopikas. These are all simple ladies, but the amount of devotion and surrender, bhakti that they had towards the Lord. This is what I need to realize. For this, I roamed about the entire world. I went to Badrikashramam, I went here, I went there. I seek the help of so many people, but here is where I come to know about bhakti. Like we saw in the Bhagavata Mahatmyam also, Narada goes about here and there. He does not get peace. That's when he comes to a conclusion that bhakti is the root of everything. Now, that doesn't mean that we should not do. Should I not go to Badrikashramam? Should I not know about philosophy? Yes, we must know. But if there is absence of bhakti, everything is useless, right? Simple example, we are all learning Narayaneeyam, right? Narayaneeyam. Arani Shloka. Narayaneeyam, I want to learn, that is there. But if that feeling or the bhakti, interest is not there, it's useless, right? It's just 1 hour punishment while I'm sitting. Someone is telling I'm just whiling my time away. It happens that way. So therefore, bhakti is something which is very important. Uddhava comes to the conclusion here. Thus, the Gopikas narrate their experiences that they have with the Lord. The Gopikas start singing. He narrated the stories of the Lord. Uddhava spent a few days there, so he sees what all the Gopikas do. The Gopikas were thinking about the Lord all through the day in their dreams also, and that's when Vyamuhata Adhikam Vismayat Uddhavoyam. Uddhava was wonderstruck. He was surprised. That's when now it seems that finally Uddhava meets Radharani in verse number 9. Radha yame priyatamamidam mat priyaivam priyeti. Uddhava tells that Krishna, he speaks this way to me. How? This is what which my Radha likes. She speaks like this, she walks like this, or so on. And when I am silent also, now Uddhava is telling all this because Krishna had imagined Radha in the form of Uddhava when he was in Mathura. And if any fine day Uddhava is silent, Krishna used to say, it seems why you are silent like Radha, and so on. So in every example, like Rama used to do for Sita, similarly here Krishna also used to remember Radha. Finally, a message which Krishna conveys is Eshyamidraganupagamanam Eshyami, meaning Krishna has conveyed this message to Drava saying that I will come soon. I've come here. I'm not able to come to Gokulam back because of work pressure. He says what work pressure? Because he has gone to Gurukula Vasam. He had killed a lot of he had to kill Kamsa also. So a lot of things had to be done. For the Avatara has been taken place. Many things have to be fulfilled, but the Lord finally says where there is full bhakti also, or when you remember the Lord firmly, there is no separation at all. You will not feel separated from me. There is no grief also. And Brahmanandam will be attained. That is, you will be able to experience union with me, and this will be very, very this will make you happy. Now, these were the words of Uddhava and the Gopikas that is there as told by Krishna. Now, here the Gopikas had seen in the form of Uddhava, they felt as if Krishna had come. So now they didn't want to be separated from Uddhava also because he was telling them about the stories of Krishna also. That's when he said that no, I have to return back now, but I will come soon. That's when Dashakam 76 he concludes saying that such devotion I've never seen evam bhakti sakala bhuvane na ikshita na shrutava. I've not seen nor heard about such bhakti in this world. What is the use? Kim shastra uge kimiha tapasa. What is the use of studying all these scriptures, doing tapasya also without bhakti, right? So there is no use if I do this just for the sake of doing things. I salute Gopikabhyaha Namostu. I salute all these Gopikas who are there. Finally, he returns from Gokula and meets the Lord and says that I had a very blissful experience in my life. Finally, Bhattatri says that Gurupurapade Pahima Mamayaugat. Just as the Gopikas became delighted after seeing Uddhava, just as Uddhava became delighted by seeing the Gopikas, even if you could not be present there, you send someone through you. Similarly, O Lord, why are you not thinking about me? Why are you not freeing me from my ailments? With this, Bhattatri closes Dashakam 76.